Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be the last reading for this series for this week. So I wanted to do this for the group EXO. So I really appreciate all your recommendations, and of course the one that I have pendant. I have them written down, so don't worry, I will get to those later. And then near the weekend, I will make a community post so we can do some kind of poll to see what you would like me to read for next week. And we are really close to ending this year, and I want to take a moment to thank you all, and at the same time to wish you the best energies possible, and also that wherever you are, that you are safe, and that you and your loved ones are safe. So yes, let's start this reading for EXO. The cards that they got, it's the Five of Pentacles, the Ten of Wands, Justice, Ten of Pentacles, Three of Cups. And then from the Oracle of Ancestors and Angels, they got the card of a Stargazer. Set your sights higher. So yes, I starting off with the Five of Pentacles. I think that they are they are I think this year, most of all, they have been in this sort of not feeling their best when it comes to actually achievements. Probably has to do with the fact that not all the members are together, that they have individual activities. Some of them are in the military, so it's a bit complex to read for EXO, because somehow it shows me the absences here, and also how they try to keep busy, the ones that have the possibility to work. But it's like it seems like they are very determined to not have an EXO come back without the EXO members. I think that they really want to get together, all of them, and have a proper comeback. But I think that things haven't been easy for them. I think that they had in the past demanded a few things about what they want to do about the group, how they want to present themselves. And I think that they had been rejected, or they had been not appreciated, their ideas or their point of view. Because we start here, and the first card, it's the card of the Five of Pentacles. It's a card that makes you feel like you are never good enough, and that somehow you lack something, and it's actually laughable that to say that EXO lacks anything, because actually they are very talented. But I think they came from a lot of moments of feeling rejected or feeling not taken into consideration, despite of their efforts to actually talk or have some conversations about the group. I think that there's something that it's holding them down, and it's a company. Actually, I was paying attention to this reading, and yesterday I also did a reading for NCT units. So it's the same, but it's the same vibe or feeling that I get for SM artists, is that they do not have that much freedom as people would like to think that they have it. They just adapt to what they have available. They just smile and keep going. I think that they don't have much to do. I think that this is not a fair confrontation. I think that somehow the CEOs or the people that are in charge are very are very smart when it comes to business. So they always make their artists feel like they are ignorant, in certain things, in business, quote unquote, business deals or business things, So it's like everything they propose is being dismissed. So for them to start with this Five of Pentacles, definitely showing me that they had moments of a lot of insatisfaction through this year, but they are recovering from it. They are being patient. Yes, there's a sense of like feeling really exhausted and feeling really angry sometimes, but they are adapting. That is not their moment. Like I mentioned, they are not given that spotlight moment. They have to wait because there are other priorities for the company, or there are other groups that are actually having their moment. So I think that they are adapting. But nevertheless, there's a sense of desolation. There's this sense of, oh, this is so unfair. We worked really hard all these years, and we had, we and our fans, had given the company so much, and somehow we are here like begging for attention somehow. So they went through moments of desolation, of moments of thinking like, when will this period be over, and I think that it definitely messes with their minds, they just do not know who to believe or who to trust. And then in the middle we have, thank God, we have the card of justice. So what is showing me here is that next year, 2022, is going to be a year of justice for EXO. So probably they will be able to get things on their favor. I think that finally the balance is going to lean towards them, and they are going to be winning something. I think that they are going to be winning something when it comes to rights, or them having some kind of ownership of their careers. And yes, it has to do with money as well, because we have the Ten of Pentacles. That the Ten of Pentacles, it's is the card of prosperity, and abundance. So I think that definitely if they weren't getting paid, I think they're going to get paid. And then we have the Three of Cups, that it's the card of joy, is the card of celebration. And I think that you will definitely see something of EXO next year. I think that there will be a very interesting project with the members, and I think that they are going to sign some kind of deal that is going to be very beneficial to promote, to keep promoting themselves, because I don't think that EXO actually is going to go anywhere. I think that they will not, they will still be around, because, and also I see this Ten of Pentacles, and I'm looking that it has, I see a lot of tens here. So is it possible that actually this is the 10th anniversary for EXO? Because I see that the number 10 is here, like, very clearly, and I know that you can see it too. So it caught my attention, so maybe the number 10, it's very meaningful to them, and they want to celebrate, they want to definitely release more content. They want to keep like working, and they want to get paid as well. I see that the money for them is available, but I think that the fact that the Justice card is here is because they had been waiting for so long to get this justice. It's not that they just woke up one day and be like, oh, I'm going to demand things for myself. No, I think that they went through moments of, of really thinking about a lot of things that weren't fair for them. and they just never got a proper response, you know, like, oh yes, we will take care of this, or no, we will not talk about this. They never got a proper answer. So now it seems like the company finally wants to address, you know, EXO, you know, what's going on with EXO, what's going on with the future of EXO, you know, and I think that probably you will get more, you will get something bigger out of the group, in a sense of a new song, like something that is very close to their hearts at the same time, and that the concept is celebration. You know, this is why I was seeing the tense. Maybe some EXOs can actually like help me understand a bit better if there's an anniversary or something. But I feel like they definitely want to do things differently. There's a sense, they, like I mentioned before, they come from a state of feeling really a bit useless, you know, and I know that the word useless, it's harsh, but they had been feeling like this through this year, you know, because even though some members did have like some activities, I think that they worry about EXO's possibility of having a proper comeback, you know, like the ones they used to have. Of course, that the fact that not all the members are present, it definitely affects the group, and the ones that stay, they are doing their best they can. But it seems like their desire is to create something that it's EXO style, you know, that it talks about the band, that it talks about the band's style of music, or why EXO is who they are, you know, their identity. So I think that they do not want to be given a random song that someone made because they were bored, and because they didn't give it to the fourth generation groups, they are like, oh yes, there's EXO, give them this song, you know, and they don't want that. They want they want something special for them. And they also want to be celebrated. You know, I think that this is why I think that in the past probably they did feel a bit low in confidence, because somehow everyone else was celebrated but them. You know, and yes, there had been a lot of, you know, like I mentioned, that all the members are around, you know, there had been a few controversies here and there, but nevertheless, the group, I mean, the group is intact. I mean, it can be intact. So I think that they want to gather as many members possible and do some kind of celebration concert or something like that. You know, they want to dream big. They want to do something splendorous. You know, they want to do like a huge party. You know, they do not want someone else's crumbs. You know, they want quality. They want respect as well. Because, you know, it's funny because I think that all these young idols, you know, and these very new groups, they all admire EXO. But EXO doesn't get this admiration from his company, you know. So it's a bit like feeling appreciated, but not that much, you know. Like, you are appreciated because everyone is talking about you. So yes, we have to recognize you, but they never got like a proper recognition, you know. And I think that it's very similar to what happens to 17 as well, you know. It's the sense that they had been around for a while, and a lot of other groups have these sort of trajectory awards, you know, legendary awards and whatever. And what about EXO, you know, and what about 17, for example? You know, we're talking about EXO here, but I want to sort of like make you understand what I'm seeing here. And I think that definitely they are getting more courageous when it comes to asking what is theirs. But I think that actually what they were really there was something about money here, that this is why the justice is here. There was money that they weren't getting. There was money here that was owed to the guys. I call them boys and they are men, but I'm sorry. There was money here that maybe this is why they also were in this period where they weren't trying their best actually to promote EXO, because there was some money issues here. And I think that finally next year they're going to get the money that they deserve. This also will be like, okay, let's make up, let's resume our activities, or let's now that this awkward moment is gone, let's talk about music. And I think that this is something that, it seems a bit complex to speak about this while I'm reading cards, I'm reading tarot, but I think that the financial side of these idols is very important. And if the cards show it to me, I have to talk about it, because I'm not an expert on deals or contracts or who or what they have to get paid. I do not know much about this. I only know, and from what I can see through all these experiences that I had reading for certain groups, is that they are not that abundant or prosperous like you think that they are. I think that there are a lot of idols that actually are very poor, that they do not see the money. If they get a few amount of money, they give it to their families. Their lifestyle is not that glamorous. They have debts to pay as well. So I think that at least this is what I'm seeing here. That it's not easy to get the money. It's not as people think, that because they wear like designer clothes that they got it all. No, you have to get to a kind of like BTS level to actually consider that you are opulent when it comes to, I wouldn't say billionaires or millionaires, I don't know, but to be very wealthy, you have to go into BTS. But it's not easy, actually. It's not easy. Especially when there are a lot of members. It's not easy to divide the money. And then the Oracle of Ancestors and Angels, the Stargazer, and this also talks about sight, about seeing the truth. I think there's something about SM groups next year, that they are going to start to open their eyes to a certain situation that had been going on, and that they were like trying to deny or trying to not pay attention to this. But I think that next year a lot of things about the company management are going to be exposed, and I think that, I was talking just with someone about this. It's not easy for SM to be like exposed, because I see that there are a lot of rich people or other influential people that are actually putting extra money to avoid SM from collapsing. And I think that YG is the same. That in my car sometimes I do get like, oh yes, they will get in financial or legal battles. They will get into trouble. Oh, it seems like something is falling apart. Oh, it seems like something is going to be found out. But eventually nothing gets found out. So definitely there's someone that it's like preventing this from happening while investing money, like, or probably like hashing people with money, You know, there's something that if you ask me, if this were to happen naturally, some labels would have been exposed already. But because of their influence and the influential people that they have, you know, as acquaintances and as, you know, like partners or colleagues, somehow they have this sort of protection. And there's also a sort of, you know, I've been talking about brainwashing as well. You know, because I was mentioning like sometimes SM artists it's not easy for them to leave the company, because even though if they want to leave, it's not easy. So I was talking about that, and then I was thinking that maybe there's, besides the people that invest, that puts the money to fix their issues, maybe there's a bit of magic involved as well. You know, I'm not a psychic. I do not read energies like this. I just couldn't tell, because actually when I want to read for SM groups, I can read clearly what's going on behind the scenes. That's why I tell you. But it seems like, yes, like everyone is aware that something is going on, but they do not do anything to change. You know, so that's a bit weird. You know, that's also the weird side. You know, because I'm like, what's stopping them? If you know that you are being mistreated, or if you know that things are not going to change for your to your favor, why do you keep being part? Why do you not, like, I don't know, break your contact and just why? Why do you stay there? And I feel there's a bit of manipulation, and there could be a sort of magic, or they could have like some kind of priest or some kind of ritual that protects the company as well, or protects the artist from leaving, you know, like. So yes, we should, because, you know, here is again with this oracle of set your sights higher. So it means that their sights are high, you know, that they are going to see the results that they want to see next year, that they are opening their eyes, you know, they are being really aware of, okay, like we are fully aware of this, and we want things to change in our favor, and they are getting the results that they want to, they are getting the celebration that they want to, they are going to get the moment and the money that they want to. But somehow the oracle is inviting them to set your sight higher, like open your eyes wider. Do not relax and just like, oh, okay, yes, no, do not trust these people. Like keep, be present, be mindful, because it seems like everything is a kind of distraction, you know, so they need to be fully aware and in contact with their intuition to see what the, you know, what's been done behind their backs, you know, like if they want to take control of their careers, they need to open their eyes. They need to be able to set their sights higher, to be able to see beyond. And actually, you know, I don't think actually in EXO there are a lot of people that actually are intuitive. Honestly, to be honest, I have read for a few of them, and I think that probably the only one that it's a bit more intuitive is Chen. But we know that the Chen situation is a bit complex, but he is the most sensitive out of all of them, in my perception. I think that the others are more interested in facts or in getting the job done. You know, this is why I always in SM I see a lot of Capricorn, or a lot of Capricorn moons, Capricorn Mars, a lot of Capricorn energy, you know, because actually Capricorn and other earth signs as well, they have this sort of practical mentality where they are like, okay, what do we have to do? We have to work, we have to move here, we have to go there, okay, let's do it. So they do have like this very rational mentality, and they are very hardworking. So sometimes they cannot see the signs, they are just like, okay, yes, I will work myself. I will put on my effort, and eventually I will get paid. And if I don't get paid, I will save my money, or I will skip meals. They have this sort of like very structured mentality, so they do not see that probably they are being deceived, or that they are being emotionally manipulated, or that there's a bit of deception in the background. But probably if there are like some water signs, or water placements. In the case of Chen is a moon in Cancer. I think that he is a bit. This is why maybe for Chen, he actually was able to have this relationship outside of the group. And I think that I don't want to take this moment to actually talk about Chen, but I think that actually what Chen is doing, he is actually looking for emotions and sentiment and emotional support outside of the company and outside of his role as an idol, because he knows that if he remains faithful to the company, if he puts all his aspirations and his need for emotional support in the company, he will eventually be disappointed. So this is why he probably had always been dating or had girlfriends, or he wanted to start a family so he could feel a bit of warmth, the warmth of feeling loved, of feeling loved for who you are, of having your family, of having a future, a human future outside of being working all day, And I think that this is very wise of him. I think that the other member also that did this, it's I believe it's TBSQ Chanmin. Chanmin, he is a moon in Pisces, and he also, I believe he's married, so he also was able to be like, okay, yes, thank you SM, thank you to my members, thank you to everyone that made this possible, but I need emotional support, so I'm going to invest in my private life. I'm not sure if I'm going to succeed. I'm not sure if this person is the one, but this person makes me feel loved and makes me feel safe. So as long as I have this bond, this emotional bond with this person, I feel like I can continue working. Because they are emotional, they need something beyond. And this is where somehow the spell breaks, because if you are so caught up in work and being diligent and being hardworking and being perfect and showing up, somehow you turn yourself into a robot, and then eventually they dismiss you, and they are like, oh yes, okay, like, oh, you are not that popular anymore, we will use other group instead of you. So this is why I think that the idols do actually a great they do themselves a favor by looking I'm sorry, by looking outside their work environment, by looking for love. Because somehow everything that has to do with work, even dating other idol, somehow gets damaged. Because if the company finds out, they damage everything. And so I think that if they have this secret romance, these secret marriages or relationships and families, is because they need some emotional support, and they go outside and they find it. So yes, guys, this is all I have for EXO. I'm sorry for the ranting, because I'm just expressing things as I observe them. And this year has been really interesting for me, reading for this artist. So sometimes I'm able to connect dots and see a certain pattern in some readings. So this is why I mention other people. It's not because I'm not paying attention to the artist that I'm reading for. It's just that for me, it seems like everything is part of a puzzle, you know, and this is how I'm like trying to connect with what's going on. So yes, guys, I hope that you have a good holiday, and please take care and also enjoy. And like I always say, connect with content and connect with things like music, art, that makes you and inspires you to be better, to feel better. Do not consume things that makes you feel anxious or sad or worried. Do not worry. You know, do not worry. Do not worry for your idols. They are going to be okay. They are going to be okay. You know, I think that sometimes we forget that, yes, they are human, but they are also very intelligent. They are not babies. You know, they are not babies. And the best thing you can do is to actually be a good fan, you know, and support their content or their music, but do not engage in, you know, in fan wars, in criticism. You know, that doesn't work. So thank you so much for being here, and well, I'll see you next week in the next series. So thank you so much. Bye.